Hi guys, Alec, Peirce at the ranch. Here I am at the ranch. You can hear the chickens clucking in the background, and you can hear Kevin heaving in the foreground. This is our drive-in shed. Now, if you've been a subscriber or you've been watching some of my videos, you know about our drive-in shed. I told you about the doors and the locks, all that kind of stuff. Today I want to take a second and tell you what we do about water around here. You all know that these days water is critical. We're very fortunate here in Ontario. We have lots of water, but we still don't want to waste it. This is a big shed, 60 by 40, I think, something like that, more than that. Anyway, and there's a big steel roof. And when it rains, the water just pours off of that roof and goes into the eaves troughs and down into the ground and disappears. That's the way it was for a couple of years. However, you also probably know, if you don't, keep watching, because we're going to do some videos on my fantastic 115-year-old old-fashioned water windmill. You also know that I have a dug well under the windmill, which is just over there, 50 feet away. And we like to keep it full of water. Now, it usually has got lots of water in that well. It's a 50-some-odd foot deep well. But to keep it full of water, I was thinking, why don't we try to save some of that rainwater? And I looked at it. It wasn't very difficult at all. All I did, and you can take a look here, Kevin, all I did was the eaves trough on the shed, they're only about a foot higher than the eaves troughs on the garage right next door. So front and at the back as well, I simply took a piece of open trough, took off the downspout on the end, attached that piece of open trough to the downspout with the rivets, sealed it, and then I took it over to the garage and simply had to dump in to the eaves trough on the garage. So now all the water that lands on the shed roof goes into the garage eaves troughs, okay? And the garage is a square building, so it has eaves troughs all the way around. Now we go down here, keep an eye on that, so the water from the shed is now going into the garage eaves troughs. And those eaves troughs all the way around, this roof is also catching water. All of that water goes into the same eaves troughs. On all of that water, can you get way over here, Kevin, can you see it? All that water comes down here, and I put a new downspout right smack in the middle. A new trough runs across and dumps into the well. Really very simple. Now I'm fortunate because everything fit together really well. The garage and the shed are in a straight line, and the windmill's at the end. It might be more difficult if your buildings are spread around, but it certainly is not impossible. Now think about it for a minute. In a good solid rainstorm, just think about how much water comes off of those roofs and heads down into the water. Now if you're watching me from the United States, then you call them roughs. Anyway, a lot of water comes off of those roofs or roughs, whatever you like, and collects and goes down that single downspout into that well and keeps it plenty full. As a matter of fact, we have to be careful. If we get several days of heavy rain, the well can get too full. It never overflows because it goes into the groundwater. But if I want to, you might notice I have a Y splitter. I can actually flick a switch and dump that water out onto the gravel, out into the field to keep the field wet too. But normally the water goes right straight into my well underneath the windmill. It wasn't difficult. It took me a few hours one day, $10 worth of piping and so on. And now all of the water on these two roofs are saved. All that water is saved and put into our well. Something to think about. We'll talk again soon because I'm going to share some ideas on that windmill. And you'll see just how fantastic that windmill has been for us here at the ranch. Alec, Peirce at the ranch. I'm going inside. Beautiful day. Talk to you soon.